real quick. So how difficult was the decision to go virtual?
It was a very difficult decision. It was a decision that we struggled with for months.
Mm.
Yeah, this did not come easily. And there were members of the board that just sort of went kicking and screaming into the decision to go virtual. And I think that's just a reflection of the fact that there is a great divergence of thought out there as to where we are in our emergence from the pandemic. Not everybody shares the same thinking on where we are. I mean, as you know, I mean, there are people who think the pandemic is behind us and we should move on with our lives the way we knew them to be. And there's a school of thought that says, whoa, slow down. We're not out yet. So no, it was not an easy decision. But ultimately, it was clear that if we were to put on any event, it was going to look vastly different than anything we've done in the past. We would not be able to have all of the festive gatherings that typically go along with the TD Beach to Beacon. You know, none of the dinners, the volunteer celebrations, the post-race gatherings in Fort Williams, no mass start. People would have started on a rolling start basis. Literally a handful of people sent off from the starting line every 10 seconds or so over the course of a couple of hours. And when people got to Fort Williams to the finish line, they would have been handed a bottle of water, a bag of food, and told to either get in their car or get on a bus and leave the park. So it just wasn't going to be what the experience that everybody would have expected from the TD Beach to Beacon. And in conversations with our medical staff, with town staff, it seemed the better decision to make was to defer until 2022 when we could come back with a full race.
All right. And 2022, I mean, you're going to do that up big, I assume, and you expect it to be back full strength?
We expect it to be full strength and then some after a 2-year hiatus. Yeah, I mean, last year's decision was easy. There didn't seem to be any option last year. This year was a lot more difficult because we are in reopen mode, and things that are reopening are having to do so in a way different than they've ever been before. That's just not the model that we wanted to follow for our race this year.
Right. How much of a factor did the fact that all people are coming from all over the world play into this as well?
Well, it is a factor. Although we could have, I mean, again, if we were to have put on an event, it would have been with substantially fewer people than we've done in the past. And we likely would have had to have limited it to domestic renters.
Right, right.
So the expectation is that there would not have been an elite group of runners, and probably not people from outside the US.
Right.
But that's not happening under any circumstance. So it's not something we needed to factor in.
Right. So tell me how this is going to work, and are you excited about it?
Well, we are. It's the idea of a virtual event is a way to keep the running community connected, not only to our event, but for runners to stay connected with each other. The idea behind a virtual event is that people will run their race when they want and where they want. We do have a window of time when people are to run it that will coincide with the Tokyo Summer Games. That is assuming that the Tokyo Summer Games happen, and all indications at the moment are that they will. And runners will send us their times, and they'll receive a TD Beach to Beacon t-shirt, finisher's medal, and some other goodies.
Excellent. Excellent. Are you hearing some good positive feedback? I know there was some pushback on the idea to go virtual, but are you also hearing some good stuff about doing it this way?
Well, what we're hearing from people is that they appreciate the fact that we are being so thoughtful about safety. And if we're going to be criticized for our decision, one way or the other, we'd rather be criticized for erring on the side of safety, and not being criticized for being tone deaf to concerns in the community about bringing 3,000 to 4,000 plus people to Cape Elizabeth. So the comments have been good.
Good. Will there be any limit on the number of people who can take part in the virtual race?
There will not be.
So people aren't going to get closed out this year.
They will not be closed out.
Well, that's an upside.
Yeah, registration will open on June 2nd and it will remain open. So it's not a one day only. People can sign up even while the virtual window itself is open.
So fundraising, I mean, typically you guys are a juggernaut for fundraising. What do you anticipate this year's funding to look like in comparison to past years?
Well, JMG is our race beneficiary. They were our race beneficiary for last year.
Oh, poor JMG, darn.
Yes, it's unfortunate that they're not getting the full race experience that other charitable beneficiaries have enjoyed. But there will be opportunities, and we're creating opportunities for JMG to be able to reap the financial benefits of being a beneficiary that go beyond the $30,000 that they receive from TD.
Okay, so that's a shoe-in. The 30,000 is just going to happen because that's what TD does, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. All right. Well, very good. Anything else you wanted to add to the conversation or to say to all the folks out there who are big fans?
Look forward to 2022, bigger and better and grander than ever after a 2-year hiatus.
You're going to be president next year?
We'll see.
It's a tough one, man. Everybody's navigating some very choppy waters these days. All right, David, thank you so much.
Well,
really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. Take care. We'll see you. Bye.